Hello dear students, welcome back. Let us continue with our 1.2 lesson on Saying Please written by Alfred George Gardiner. In our last lecture, we had come on page number 17, second paragraph. We had come up, we were on the note where the bus conductor, he is wearing some type of boot and he has stepped on the narrator's foot and his foot is hurt badly, but still he is so polite that he says it's okay, it is not at all pain. Let us continue from here. After this I began to observe him whenever I boarded his bus and found a curious pleasure in the constant good nature of his bearing. This conductor was so good natured, he was always in a good mood that he spread happiness everywhere. He behaved very friendly, very lovingly with his passengers. He was very caring as well. He seemed to have an inexhaustible fund of patience and a gift for making his passengers comfortable. He always tried his best to make his passengers very much comfortable in his bus. And our narrator, whenever he boarded the bus, he used to keep on watching this patient conductor. I noticed that if it was raining, he would run up the stairs to give someone the tip that there was room inside. Double-decker buses, and these type of buses are open at the top, and some people like to take sightseeing, and so they go upstairs and sit there, book their seat there. But at the time of rainy season, whenever it was raining, and when he realized that there was a seat below, he used to come running upstairs and he used to say there is a room inside, that means there is a seat inside. With old people he was as considerate as a son, and with children as solicitous as a father. He was very caring for, especially with old people and for children. Solicitous means caring. He had evidently a peculiarly warm place in his heart for young people and always indulged in some merry jest with them. He was very fascinated or very much attached to the youngsters. He used to crack some jokes, or he used to indulge with them in some type of merry talk. If he had a blind man on board, it was not enough to set him down. Now see, this is so good of him that if there was a blind man in the bus, he not only made him sit comfortably in the bus, but he also let him down, took him down himself and made him cross the road and see that he was safe then. And until then he used to request the driver, here the name he would call Bill is mentioned, he used to request his driver to stop until he has made that person cross, the blind man cross the road. He would call the Bill in front to wait while he took him across the road or round the corner or otherwise safely on his way. In short, I found that he irradiated such an atmosphere of good temper and kindliness that a journey with him was a lesson in natural courtesy and good manners. Always, whenever the narrator was in the bus and the same conductor was there, he thought that it was a lesson that each and every passenger in the bus could take from that conductor. He was so polite. Irradiated means he spread the happiness, he spread the courtesy around him, and the natural courtesy and good manners. What struck me particularly was the ease with which we got through his work. How what was appealing was that how he got through his work very easily. Although he paid attention to all the passengers, along with that he went through his work with ease. If bad manners were infectious, so also are good manners. Here once again the writer comes on the note that good manners as well as bad manners are contagious. They are infectious. We keep on spreading. If we are bad mannered, we go on spreading bad manners around us. If we are good mannered, we spread good manners around us. If we encounter incivility, most of us are apt to become uncivil. But it is an unusually uncouth person who can be disagreeable with sunny people. Uncouth means impolite person. If we encounter incivility, what are we going to get? Incivility. It is with manners as with the weather. Nothing clears up my spirits like a fine day, said Keats. Keats is a famous writer. He says that nothing clears up my spirit like a fine day. As we are happy on a fine day, in the same way, we are cheerful when we have happy people around us, when we have optimist people around us. And a cheerful person descends on even the gloomiest of us with something of the benediction on a fine day. Benediction means a blessing. A cheerful person is like a blessing to a home, and whenever he is around, the home or the place, the function is always cheerful. And so it was always fine whether on the polite conductor's bus and his own civility, his conciliatory address and good humoured bearing infected his passengers. All these qualities infected his passengers. His passengers also started behaving in the same way. See children, whenever you have a happy, cheerful person around you, a friend around you, you also feel happy. On the contrary, if you have a friend who is always sad, who is always busy complaining about one or the other thing, you don't feel like being with that friend, because you also feel tired, you also feel sad being with him. And that is why a cheerful person makes the atmosphere cheerful. He infects the atmosphere with his cheerful mood. In lightening their spirits, he lightened his own task. Now this polite conductor, he not only spread happiness around him, but by spreading happiness, he himself became happy. He himself loved the work he did. His gaiety was not a wasteful luxury, but a sound investment. Gaiety means happy mood. His happy mood was not only a luxury, but it was a sound investment. Give and take is there. I have missed him from my bus route of late. Now before I begin this paragraph, before that, we must come to the moral that even a common person can have a goodness in him, can have a spark of civility in him. I have missed him from my bus route of late. But that means the narrator has changed his route, or maybe the conductor has changed his route. But I hope that only means that he has carried his sunshine, that means his happy mood, his cheerfulness, to another road. He is on some another road, the conductor is on some another road, and the narrator is very sure that he is spreading his sunshine on that route as well. It cannot be too widely diffused in a rather drab world. Drab means uninteresting. It cannot be diffused. his cheerfulness cannot be diffused, cannot be rejected in the uninteresting world. And I make no apologies for writing a panegyric on an unknown bus conductor. Panegyric means a writing in order to praise someone. He has written this in order to praise the conductor. He is a very common person. If Wordsworth would gather lessons of wisdoms from the poor leech gatherer on the lonely moor. Poor leech gatherer is one of Wordsworth's famous work. Leech gatherer means medicine gatherer, who might be a tribal person or a rural person. Here he gives a reference that even if Wordsworth, who is such a great person, if he can take a lesson from a leech gatherer, then why can't we all take the lesson from this polite bus conductor? I see no reason why lesser people should not take lessons in conduct from one who shows how a very modest calling may be dignified by good temper and kindly feeling. The narrator says there is no reason why we should reject such type of civility, such type of kindness from anybody around us.
Let us stop here. Our one paragraph is remaining, which I will continue in my next lecture. Along with the remaining paragraph, I will also give you the summary of the lesson in my next lecture. Thank you. Happy reading.